All right, New York Giants fans, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Well, I think we're going to do two topics today, and one of those topics is going to be ESPN Part 2, Why They Hate the New York Giants So Much. And there's an article that they have on their website that's basically titled, Far from the Super Bowl Ready, New York Giants Continued Quest to Rebuild. We're going to get into that, and then I also want to get into basically the calendar for free agency, starting with the Giants for the 2021 free agency. Just some important dates, some things we need to look out for. Kind of give you guys a little bit of insight of what's coming up, so everyone has a better understanding. And but let's get into the ESPN. I did a video not too long ago that said, you know what, ESPN hates the Giants. They really do. Now, I do not think there are all these guys sitting around in the production room, smoking cigars, drinking cognac, toasting to evil, and how we can screw the Giants. I don't think they're doing that. But there does seem to be a time to be a biased. Now, when I read the initial headline, I was like, well, this is going to be another suck piece from ESPN. And it was and it wasn't. They quote sources, and it says, one of the sources says, so far away from the playoff teams right now, it's not even close. And that's a source with league knowledge of the Giant roster. Yeah, the Giant roster has some holes and we have some issues. But, and then they go on to talk about the franchise is in a precarious position. It can't go after a quarterback such as Deshaun Watson, even if he's available, because it doesn't have the roster or the assets to make such a move. Well, here's the problem with that. A lot of teams don't have the assets or the players to make a move for Deshaun Watson for what they're asking. Then they talk about, without help from a sufficient line or defense necessary in playmakers, Watson's really not going to succeed in New York. But that's true anywhere you go. That's not something that, you look at it and go, oh my God, that's such a stroke of brilliance. And they talk about how Jones is their guy, but multiple teams and league sources have reiterated to ESPN over the past few weeks that, that's their guy. But not many people outside of New York think he's going to be a successful upper echelon quarterback. And they, the Giants are knowingly take a leap of faith with their fingers crossed after inconsistent results during his first two professional seasons. Now I laugh because Pro Football Focus has him as the greatest quarterback in Giant history. But again, that statement's not 100% untrue. Yes, there's a big leap of faith going into 2021 with Daniel Jones. If he does not pan out this year, it's going to be bad for the franchise. And then they talk about, how the Giants basically wrecked their roster going back to 2018 in the offseason, which is fine. And then they have it where John Mayer came out and said, we're a far from a finished product. There are a lot more pieces that we need here, but I think we're in much better shape than we were a year ago. And I have to agree. I think the Giants were in much better shape than they were in a year ago as well. Starting 1-7 and finishing 6-10 when they went 5-3 over the last 8. That's a good sign of progress. And like I said, then they talk about the Golden Tate, waving Tate and Zeidler and Nate Solder about getting cap space together and re-signing Leonard Williams. So, then I kept looking in the article, and then at the end it goes, in the big picture, not much has changed for New York. They still have a young, unproven quarterback with a roster that needs massive upgrading. The Giants, in the midst of the rebuild, are miles away from being a Super Bowl contender they desire to be. Okay, that statement is not 100% untrue. I still don't think the Giants are going to be any type of Super Bowl contention for at least 2 years. But I think that the way this roster is currently being constructed, it can turn itself around. But what I am getting a little bit concerned about are the drafts. Because even if you go back to Gettleman's first draft in 2018, Saquon Barkley, some people were saying, oh, that's a waste of a pick in second overall. I don't think that was ever a waste of a pick. And I still don't. I don't really agree with taking a running back that high. But if he is going to be that once-in-a-lifetime talent, you have to, so you got to take your shot. Now, if you look at it, Will Hernandez has been a train wreck. Lorenzo Carter can't stay on the field. BJ Hill, we are going to be... a lot of people are like, well, we need to let Dalvin Tomlinson walk and let BJ Hill play. What makes you think that BJ Hill can turn around and be a starter in this league when he hasn't really shown that in the last 3 years? Plus Kyle Lauletta's gone. RJ McIntosh is probably going to be gone. And then if you go into the 19 draft, it gets worse. I mean, Ballantyne's gone. Or Ballantine. Doesn't matter. He's gone. Darius is the only one that really stayed. Ryan Connolly's gone. Julian Love has played well at times. O'Shane Ximenez, of course. We know what O'Shane Ximenez has done. Nothing. DeAndre Baker's gone. Dexter Lawrence is gone. I mean, still here, who's played well. And Daniel Jones, we have no clue about what's going to turn around. And I'm looking at the 2020 draft, and I'm not filled with confidence yet. Andrew Thomas, of course, has played sporadic, we'll say, at best. Xavier McKinney looks like he's going to be a player. Matt from Connecticut looks like he's going to be a player. Darnay Holmes looks like he's going to be a player. Shane Lemieux looks like there's hope. The linebackers, Cam Brown, Carter Coughlin, TJ Brunson, I'm not sure about yet. Same with Tate Crowder. So if you look at our drafts, and the draft is where we need to build the team. So if we're looking at the drafts alone, I have some concerns as well. But I think if the talent turns around, that the 2020 talent turns around, and we get some more production out of the 2019 talent that's still on the roster, and there's really not that much left. And the same thing with the 18, there's really not much left on that roster. But so Dave Gettleman's gotta have to hit again in free agency. But I am not sitting there with ESPN and looking at this team saying it's devoid of talent. I think we're at least 2 years away from making the playoffs. I think we might be 6-10 again next year. But who knows? We could strike it rich in the draft. We could all of a sudden be players in free agency. Who knows? So you can't sit there, ESPN, and bash us like this again without really looking at the full picture. And I love how they always quote people with inside knowledge of the Giants roster. And I love it because that's their cop-out for everything. Inside knowledge. You have to look at this way this team played before you can sit there and make these types of criticisms. And as Forrest Gump would say, that's all I got to say about that. I wanted to get into now the 2021 free agency and some kind of key dates for that all Giant fans need to watch. Because I think it's really, we're getting close again. We're getting close. I'm getting the fever. And it's not the COVID fever. I'm getting the fever. The offseason is going to start soon. February 23rd, first day to apply the franchise or transition tag. Will we be using that on Leonard Williams again? Will we be using that tag on Dalvin Tomlinson? I doubt we will be using it for either one of them. But February 23rd is the first day that you can apply that tag. Now, March 9th at 4 p.m. is the last day you can apply the tag, the franchise or transition tag. That's not gonna. I don't really think it's gonna be a date to watch because I really don't think we're gonna do anything with the tag. I don't think we're going after Dalvin. I think we're gonna try to sign Dalvin, but I don't think we're gonna try to tag him. And there's no way in hell with the salary cap the way it is that we're gonna be able to tag again Leonard Williams. So, and also March 15th to 17th is the free agency negotiation window. So that's basically, that's when teams can go and start negotiating. It's like that unwritten period they call it, where they can negotiate. So before March 15th, pending free agents like Williams, of course they can. We'll just use Williams as an example. They can negotiate only with their current team, and then once March 15th rolls around, they can negotiate with any team. So, Leonard Williams, like I said, he can't until after the 15th. It's the legal tampering period. So then March 17th, free agency begins, and that's at 4 p.m. So that'll be interesting to watch. And then we get into April 19th, the offseason workouts start. So that'll be interesting. That'll be fun to see what's going on with some of the guys that from the 2020. Some potential, some potential guys we have on. The practice squad, you never know. And then it's April 29th to May 1st. That's the NFL draft. That's going to be a day. That's going to be a fun day. Now, May 3rd, which is my birthday, if anyone wants to send me a present, the 5th-year option deadline for the 2018 first-round draft choices comes up. So you know that the Giants are going to pick it up unless there's something catastrophic that happens with Barkley, and they're going to pick up the option. Yeah, you just know it. So I mean, and then with the new collecting bargain agreement, which was signed last year, that kind of means that Fisher's options, beginning with the 2018 first round picks, are now fully guaranteed when they're picked up, and that's rather fully guaranteed at the time they're picked up. Not like basically what happens is when it used to be when you picked up someone's fifth year option, the option was not guaranteed to the start of next league year, but now they're fully guaranteed at the time they pick it up. I mean, that's neither here nor there, because they're going to pick up Barkley's options. But those are some of the big dates that are going to be coming up that we need to watch out for. So it's going to be an interesting offseason. ESPN can go screw themselves. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you can subscribe, if you can ring that bell, you know what that means? That'd be awesome.